YouTube, what's going on? Today I'm gonna show you guys the best way and the easiest way to make a rack of lamb. As you can see, we got a whole rack of lamb right here, and I promise you it's not as difficult as it looks. So make sure you guys follow every single instruction. We're cooking it on a kettle grill today, so it's super easy, super simple. You don't need a big giant smoker or anything. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at Grub with Just. You already know what time it is, baby. Let's get it. All you're gonna need is a rack of lamb, a knife, your favorite steak seasoning. You can go to a grocery store and get any steak seasoning that your heart desires. It usually just consists of salt, pepper, garlic, and sometimes it has a little bit of other spices in it, but any steak seasoning will do. You're gonna need some fresh rosemary, some olive oil, and this is optional. You can get some butcher twine, but this is optional. You don't need this. And last but not least, you know you're gonna need a bag of that Kingsford Original Charcoal. So first, you're gonna wanna get rid of this membrane. Now the membrane is this nasty little stuff that is hanging off that. All you wanna do is just take your finger and just peel it all the way off. Just rip it off. I'm gonna get all that membrane off, extra little skin pieces that's not too tasty in your food. Get all that nasty membrane off. Ugh. All right, now once you get that membrane off, now it's time to cut the excess fat. Now lamb is super fatty, so usually I like to trim it down like this. Sometimes when you buy lamb chops, they come with a lot of fat on top. I can't stand when it does that because I feel like they charge you by weighing it. So I feel like if you're just gonna put a bunch of fat on top, you're just charging me for fat. You know, this is gonna be no good. Now you can leave some fat on because you don't wanna get all the fat off because, you know, we all know fat has a bunch of flavor in it. You don't want just a bunch of hanging pieces of fat off. And we're just gonna throw this fat right in the water. Hopefully the crabs can enjoy some of this. Okay, now that we trimmed the fat off the lamb, it is time to season this bad boy up. All you're gonna wanna do, right, super simple. Just take some olive oil, drizzle that bad boy on top, and rub that thing in there. Just like that, you wanna give it a nice little massage. And then you also want to put olive oil on the back end too. All right, now for the next step, it's time for your seasoning. Like I said, you use any steak seasoning. What you wanna do, gently just go. Do not be shy with it either. Pat that seasoning in just like that, and you wanna flip it over and get that backside. You want every single crevice to get as much seasoning as possible. And do not forget this part right here too, because if you like lamb chops, you already know this piece right here, when you're done, is gonna be fire. So make sure you season that part too. Get all angles, sides. And now we got a seasoned rack of lamb, but we're not done yet. You wanna take your rosemary and just put this directly on top. You can let this marinate overnight, which is probably the best option, or you can let it marinate for about an hour. If you're in a rush, no longer than 20 minutes, that should be good too. All right, so next step is time to light up our Kingsford charcoals. This is the most important step because, as you guys know, Kingsford is the #1 charcoal brand in the country. So first, you're gonna wanna open your bag of Kingsford charcoal. It's nothing like opening a bag of Kingsford charcoal, man. It's like Christmas for real. For the real grill masters out there, you know what I'm talking about. And then you want to take your chimney shooter and slowly dump the charcoals in the chimney shooter. Then you're gonna take one of your fire starters, load it down in the pit, and start that flame. Now you put this on top, and now you're gonna let this go for about 15 minutes, or whenever that smoke stops coming out and you just see a flame up, you know it's time to dump. All right, now it is time to dump the charcoals out, but you wanna make sure that you dump it on one side of the grill. So let's go with this side. So once your charcoals are down, you wanna take a wood chunk, this one is mesquite, and add it directly on top of the charcoal. Then take your rack of lamb and put it directly on the opposite side away from the charcoal. Now you see the charcoal is on this side, the lamb is on this side. There's no charcoal under here, so make sure you're doing that. You do not wanna put this on top of the charcoal. I also forgot to say you're gonna need a thermometer. You don't need a wireless one. You can get any type of thermometer that you wanna plug in because we're gonna pull it at a specific temperature. You put it on the long side of the lamb, and then you're gonna poke it all the way through. This is another important step. The lid that you have, you want to make sure that the vent side is going to be on top of the lamb side so that way the smoke could push over. Just like that. And right now we're sitting at about 100 degrees, 108, 109. On a kettle grill, this is probably only going to smoke for about 10 to 15 minutes because this is cooking very, very, very fast. So I'm probably going to pull this in about 5 minutes. So total smoke time about 15. And I'm going to show you guys the next step. Let's get it. Okay, so the lamb has been smoking for about 20 to 25 minutes, and the temperature right now is sitting at 120. So we're gonna pull this off and take it to the cutting board. But be ready, it is not done yet. Do not click off the video. Okay, now we got a nice beautiful piece of rack of lamb that we are going to cut into individual slices. For this part, you're gonna wanna take your knife, and you're gonna wanna slice down. Don't worry about this being half cooked because you guys know we're already gonna let these cook directly on that hot sear. I'm gonna cut them directly down the middle. Sometimes it's good to do that little kick and you want to cut every single piece. Some of the little rosemary pieces will be on there. You could let it soak up some of that. If only y'all could smell this right now. And make sure, you can rub all this extra juice, all these extra little seasons that fall off, these little rosemary pieces. Get all that good stuff in there, because this is gonna be fire on the grill. Now you got juicy pieces. Now let's go start this grill back up. All right, y'all, this is the most crucial step. You're gonna wanna go ahead and take some olive oil, and this is gonna be quick and fast. You wanna pour some olive oil directly on top of the charcoal so that flame goes up. Oh yeah, that flame is gonna go up crazy. What you're gonna wanna do is put the lamb chops directly on top of that hot flame. What this is doing is trapping all the juices in, and that flavor is going to be fire. You want that flame to be going up there like that. It's trapping all those juices, and you're gonna wanna flip them. Already got those grill marks going on like that. They're not gonna be on too long. I probably say about a minute per side. Look at this beautiful piece right here. Not get any better than that. Yeah, sirski. And then once they've been cooking about a minute per side, you want to go ahead and take them off. The thicker ones you could leave on a little bit longer, but the skinny ones you want to go ahead and pull those. Absolutely beautiful. Perfect char. I mean, look at that. And here we got the best lamb chops that your eyes have ever seen. Packed with flavor, packed with garlic. It does not get any better than this. All right, now it's time for that Kingsford taste test. Which piece we going with? I think we're going to go with a piece just like this. So good, so flavorful, and so juicy. Let's see. I promise you it doesn't get any better than this. And you know what time it is. Shout out to Kingsford Charcoal. Let's get it. Boom!